What's up, party people? It's Keys Dan with RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com, coming to you live in a living color from the Radio What studios. And this is my podcast, What Makes You Famous? It's an extension of the RadioWhat.com internet radio station that I've been running for quite some time. And if you need DJ services, where do I always send you? DJLittleRock.com. One more time, DJLittleRock.com. Check availability and get a free price quote, and maybe you can have me at your next event. You know I like to party with the people. The people need to be entertained. Are you not entertained? Let me entertain you. Speaking of entertainment, today on the program, Vince Warry. Oh, yeah, you know Vince Warry. We talked a few months ago. He was too little too late back then, but today he's dreaming. D-R-E-A-M-N apostrophe. Keep that in your head. Dreamin'. All right. We're going to get to know what's going on with Dreamin' in the next few minutes, so stick around. This week's shows, let's see. Oh, I have 2 public shows this week. Count them. Two public shows. I'll be at the Rab on Friday night, my usual Friday night gig, the Video Dance Party Karaoke Jam, the Rab in Conway, Arkansas. Oh, always a good time. Video Dance Party Karaoke Jam. Yes, right. I said karaoke. You're the stars of the show. I'm just pressing buttons. You get to provide the entertainment. Yeah, I'll put a little background music. I'll put a little dance music on there so people can hit the dance floor and, move their bodies and, get some exercise while you're out there on Friday nights. But they got good food. They got a full bar. They got the, pool tables. They got a pool tournament on Friday nights, 10 diamond-style pool tables. So if you want to try your hand at playing pool and possibly make some money while you're doing it, check out the pool tournament. And, always a good time. Good people. It was packed last Friday night. So excited when it gets packed up and people just have fun with each other, singing their favorite songs. People come up to me and go, hey, what song should I sing, Keys Dan? You should sing whatever song you like from whatever genre you like, whatever song you know, whatever you're feeling. It's all about you at that for those 3 to 5 minutes and singing that song. So cool. And on Saturday, that's right, Friday night at the Rab from 8 p.m. until 12:30 a.m. And then I got all excited because about once a month on Saturdays, I'm at the Choctaw VFW in Choctaw, Arkansas. Yeah, the VFW, the big room. There's always a good time there. They got a full bar. They got some food there as well. They got some pool tables and a big, giant dance floor. And they got darts. I don't know about drunk people and darts, but hey, nobody's been critically injured as far as I know at the Choctaw VFW. It's always a good time. We set up the stage for you for the Video Dance Party Karaoke Jam. And, people go, Keys Dan, you got it sounding real nice in here. Why is it sounding real nice? Because you're singing, because you're awesome. I try to make those magic microphones make you sound like stars, like rock stars, like pop stars, like country stars, like whatever song you want to sing. You come on out to Choctaw VFW on Saturday night. I know the usual thing says like 9 to 12, but usually I'm there by 8. Come on. Sometimes I'm set up by 7:30 and ready to go. So be there by 8 o'clock, 8 to 12 at least. Sometimes we go to about 12:30. Until the thing starts petering out because, we tired and a lot of people got church in the morning. So, 8 p.m. until 12 at least at the Choctaw VFW Saturday night. Be there. Oh, my goodness. Always a good time. Good people up there. I'm excited. 2 public shows this week. All right. Speaking of excitement, I'm excited to talk to Vince Warry again. I had him on the podcast before. I know you heard it, my loyal listener. Let's find out what's going on in the life of Vince Warry and Dreammin'. That's what we're here to talk about. All right, party people, I got him on Skype. So if you're listening to the audio version, check out the video version on my YouTube page, youtube.com/user/Keys Dan. Skyping Vince Warry now.
Do it, my man.
Oh, there he is. Vince Warry's on my screen. What's up, Vince? What's going on with you?
Hey, I'm doing good.
Okay.
You got an I in Dreamin'. It's just an N, no I.
Wait a minute. Okay. I copied it straight from the video.
Yeah, we're having troubles with that, but Okay.
Okay, so it's Dream N.
You got it. Just lose the I.
Boom. Done.
There it is.
Just like that. It's gone.
Just like that.
Bye-bye
Nice.
to the I. See, corrected right off the bat, man. I'm looking for a lot of corrections. I mean, people know
No
you.
worries.
If people listen to the podcast before, they know you from, from Obscene Silence, perhaps.
Right. That's right.
Perhaps you were their dive instructor, maybe. Maybe.
Oh no.
Maybe you were. Maybe they saw you when you were the backup dancer for Nickelback. Ooh.
No, Michael Bublé.
Michael Bublé, way back then, when you were backup dancing. Yeah, this is going to be full of corrections from the last podcast, and it's going to be filled, action-packed, full of what's going on in the world. I mean, we already mentioned dreaming.
It's dreaming. It's dreaming.
I mean, we could start there, man. I mean, because I know I put my foot in my mouth because I don't do a lot of research on these things. Whenever I'm talking to people, I want them to unfold naturally. And, and I see you with a picture with your pretty lady, and I'm going, all right. And then you write a song about it. We talked about this song. This is kind of a continuation of that, is that this was happening at that time, way back when. I can't even remember when we talked. Was it 6 months? Was it a year ago? Tell me.
Yeah, it was about 6 months. It was after I had lost Shannon. But actually, maybe it was even just 5 months ago. Too Little Too Late had come out. But I was definitely, I had recorded this song at that point. I had actually recorded this song before Shannon, my wife, to those of you who are watching, passed away. And this was the one and only song I got to write for her. So now, Dan, as the journey has continued, the song means more to me as sort of a long-lasting thank you than anything else. So
yeah, it's how you're going to keep Shannon Jean alive. And and you have anybody who, I encourage you. I'm going to put links to everything, but there's the video is out there, but the song hasn't been released. You said something about release dates pushing back. I'm not sure how that works.
Well, I'll tell you what, the video is not out there, but Dan, I'll turn it on after this. After we close here, I will open it up to the world so that anybody who is listening can watch the video starting today. Okay. How about we make that deal?
Okay. Cool? That sounds great, man, because I did get a chance.
I sent you an advance copy.
Oh, that's what happened.
Yeah, because there was a little bit of a mix-up, and so for whatever reason, and I've just been inventing reasons since I've had some time to think about it this week, that we had to kick it to February 9th. So it comes out this Friday, but the link that you have is actually, it's not the right link. So you and I can work that out, and hopefully you can figure that out.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, hey, I'm learning all kinds of things here. I just noticed that it says unlisted there. That's named improperly, but the video is so powerful, man. It's just, it's you with your guitar primarily, but there's a lot of feeling, a lot of emotion. You're an actor, bro. Did you study acting? Did you study the theater at Juilliard, the Stradivarsky method? And I'm sure I said that name wrong. There's all kinds of acting methods. Are you in the peer group of Daniel Day-Lewis? Do you method act? Can you cry on cue?
Definitely do not. I was trusted to play Corny Collins once, and that was about the deepest that I could get in a little musical called Hairspray.
Yeah, okay. I know the musical, but I'm familiar with the character. I know Divine and Roger Waters, I guess, is the Hairspray. But tell me about your production.
Oh, Corny Collins is he's the host of the television show that leads to the whole movement that happens. And it was at a school that I taught in, actually, in Burnaby, and they had an outstanding theater program, and they just didn't find the right fit for their game show host. And I nailed the part, I guess. out of desperation on their part, I'm sure. So.
No, you do what you do, man, and you make it work. And I mean, what was the how long did it run, or was it a one night only?
It was supposed to be 5 nights. We were crazy story. We were on strike at the time, so it got cut down to 3 nights, I think. But we had a blast, and it's so inspiring to. I was between bands at the time, and it was so inspiring to work with the next generation of performers, as well as my colleagues in a completely different, venue. We had amazing dance teachers and amazing music teachers there that have such different and diverse backgrounds. So you learn so much. And despite being a former Michael Bublé Olympic dancer, they were, I'm totally kidding. They were trying to get me to
He's
dance.
not kidding.
And I was like, hard no. So I kind of regret that part. I probably could have learned some moves, but it was fun. It was fun, and something that I'll always hold really dear to my heart.
Well, Vince Warry, that's the only thing about that's the thing about a creative is that you want to keep creating. You want to keep making people happy. Put on a show. Be a star. Yep. Be a star. Put on a show, man. You're a song and dance, man. Song and dance. Even though you're not formally trained as a dancer, you somehow got on the Olympic dance team. I know I'm saying it. I'm saying it all wrong. You weren't on the Olympic dance team. You were just dancing at the Olympics.
That's right. But when people trash my dancing, I remind them that I was an Olympic dancer. So
yes, you were.
Yep.
Yes, you were. And you're a teacher, man. That's the other thing is not only have you learned your craft, you are also imparting. You're teaching others. You're teaching history. Is that right? Okay.
That's right.
But what's the
John Barsby? Well, there we go. No logos. There we go. John Barsby. That's my school. And that's where I teach history. All
right, now people can stalk you and and go. The whole crowd of screaming, adoring fans is going to be standing out in front of John Barsby, going, "Oh, Vince Warry's here! Vince Warry's here!" Oh, it's like if you had your hotel room and they'll be outside your house. Are there tours? Are you on the Star Tour in Vancouver?
Yeah, no. Here in Nanaimo, the Star Tour is pretty short. So,
Hey, Vancouver is big on making movies and making. I guess it's big. It's big on music, on lots of things. I mean, tell me what are the bands that are coming out of Vancouver right now? What shows have you seen? Who are you supporting? Now that you're a big
Actually,
star.
I want to tell you about somebody right now because I want you to mark my words on what are we talking here? It's February what? What do we got, Dan?
I don't know. I don't time these things. I like to keep them
February
evergreen.
6th?
We'll go with the 6th. Yeah. He actually looked at a paper calendar, folks, if you're listening to the audio version of this.
I did. Right now, here we go. I'm having connection issues. All right, here we go. James Vickers. Did you get that? James Vickers.
Write it down.
Man, we're farting out here.
James Vickers.
Did you get it?
Vickers.
Sorry, I'm crapping out on my connection here.
No problemo.
James Vickers he's in grade 9. And this guy can play guitar and sing like the smokiest blues man you have ever seen.
Okay. A la Johnny Lang. Because when Johnny Lang was a kid, I used to love him. I saw him in Blues Brothers 2000, playing the blues, riffing guitars.
Yep. And he's a Nanaimo local. And like I say, grade 9 and just throwing down and making noises. So you want an up-and-comer. That's the name to look out for right there.
Well, I mean, these are the kids that you find on YouTube and SoundCloud that are putting things out on their own. There's so many different avenues. Now that, okay, look, I know we're part of the big records family. And we promote each other, and push each other up. And that's a great thing to have a team that's behind you, that's backing you up. But James Vickers, he has so many more avenues than we had when we were kids. We had to go find a record label or a producer that believed in us enough to put money forth to press our records, to press our CDs, to audio tapes. 8 tracks, press vinyl.
But crazy, the old journey.
Yeah.
Yep.
But now They have
it was
the
nuts
ability
back then compared to what they can do now.
Well, they have the ability for less than $1,000. You can get yourself a computer with an audio interface, some kind of a microphone, and plug in and just put on GarageBand seems to be the most popular one. I know I use Adobe Audition, and there's Pro Tools out there, and for less than $1,000 or so, you can make yourself a demo, make yourself an album. Is James Vickers out there putting it out to the world?
He's, from what I understand, he just got back from Nashville where he was touring, and I think he was talked to, let's just put it that way, by somebody interested. That's all I know. I'm getting that secondhand, but he'll go. I have no doubt in my mind of just watching the confidence with which he plays. It's inspiring. So
fantastic. I mean, once you get to a certain level, you want to push the next generation up. And I like that. I like finding those diamonds in the rough, those people. Did you teach him guitar by any chance? Or were you in part in any of his learning at all? No? Okay.
No, we've got a pretty cool band program at our school. We have a fellow named Russ Dewar runs it. And he just changed it all over to rock band this year. So I went to watch one of their sets of all the different students, and there was this one act with this James Vickers kid that was like, hello. And like I say, he's been making noise on the circuit around Nanaimo too. So
more credit where credit is due. Now at your school, the School of Rock. I know that there's that movie that Jack Black was in has inspired a lot of different schools of rock all over the world. And I don't know if it was something that was going on before the movie or if the movie just really set it off and made it huge. Were there schools of rock before that? Do you have any idea of that?
I tried to do like a rock club at a different city that I was living in before here in Nanaimo, and it kind of worked. There was enough bands at a bigger school that it was set, but this is a small school, so to get as many kids in a safe zone where they can play music in a supportive environment is really growing that program and making some good stuff happen. So
yeah, that might be one of the hardest things to do as a kid when you're trying to start out is find a place to play that's not going to annoy the neighbors and your inner family as it is. You know, dad's coming home from work, mom might be coming home from work as well. I mean, I'm in more of a traditional family. I keep my wife at home, and I like it. I like it a lot. I work twice as hard so she could be June Cleaver and stay at home. But you know, there's people that work hard, and then to come home and have the kid playing flute all over the house, playing recorder, playing piano poorly. You know, sometimes that's hard. It's nice that you give them a space. 1 hour, couple hours a day, maybe even after school as an extracurricular program. I know you're in the history department, but while you're in the teacher's lounge, you got to be talking to Russ. I'm guessing Russ, the band teacher. Do you help out at all in the music department?
We threw some shows together as the dad band at the school. But Russ and I always talk shop. He's got a band in town. So he's just got himself so busy that unfortunately we don't, and so have I actually, so we don't have that much time to make music together anymore, which was always fun at school. So it always knocks the kids back a little when they see us old farts playing music for them because, you know, we're dinosaurs to them. So, yeah.
Yeah, but while you're at school, do you have the ability to press play and record? And yeah, I'm talking about the old cassette recorder where you press play and record at the same time so you can get that music down. Do you have the ability to record them, and have they been able to post those things?
Yeah, I just set myself up. It's funny you say that. Damn, you're like a mind reader or something. I set myself up a little guitar set up in my office with a tiny little amp so that I can capture stuff because, you know, there's a little more importance to it now that I'm working with big records and wanting a steady stream of new originals coming out. I can't be forgetting stuff. And so, yeah, I've been doing a little bit of that.
It's nice, man. And is this something that you put your headphones on, or do you have an amp that people can listen through the door and they go, huh, Vince Warry's working on something in there. What's
Yeah.
going on in that office?
Yeah, I got a tiny little Spark amp, which is crazy because it talks to your phone and you can dial in any sound. And for being like this big, you can make that thing sound like you're in an auditorium. So people have walked by and been like, what's going on in there? So yeah, it's good.
Probably a whole lot better than when I was growing up on in Fort Lauderdale Beach and Miami Beach. There was I think it was on Fort Lauderdale Beach on the Strip. There was a guy who used to skate and play guitar with a little tiny amp hanging off his shoulder there. And it was battery operated. I thought it was the coolest thing. And he had the ability to put tips in a jar. There was a jar, and he would skate around the jar and skate up and down playing music. Most of the time it was like a Foxy Lady. And he kind of was dressed like Jimi Hendrix a little bit. It had the big hair, and yeah, I remember these things, but I'm sure the amps are so much better. I know I was introduced to Bose back then when I was in college in Broward County and then Fort Lauderdale there, and they had these big giant speaker cabinets that there was one guy dressed in a it looked like a scientist, had this long doctor's coat on, and you hear bum 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 bum, and he pulled the cabinet away, and it was a little tiny Bose speaker. And it was making all this noise, filling this auditorium. And this is back in '86. So I know it's got to be so much better. Now you have an amp by who? We can give credit where credit is due.
Of amps is called Spark. And they're the newest modeler amp, but they are incredible. Like I say, the app is on your phone, and you can dial up any amp you want, any sound, like guitar player or song sound that you want, and it's very authentic. And they make a big one, which I have for live shows, and I bought their little guy that is just a fabulous piece of equipment.
All right. Is Spark sponsoring you? Because if they're not, they need to be out there throwing some cash at you, because you're putting the word out. You're making sure people know about their products. I know that full disclosure, we have a little meeting with the gang at the Big Records on Mondays and kind of, touch base and find out, do you have a sponsor? Are there people helping you out? Or can you give credit where credit is due? Are people throwing money at you because they believe in you, Vince Warry?
Absolutely, I do. I have so far some good Nanaimo sponsors. Vintage Villain is a vintage clothing guy who sets me up with stuff when I need it. And I've got West Coast Vocal Academy, which is someone who is very helpful in unlocking just a whole range of my vocals that I didn't know I had. I got Emerald Pine Photography, also outstanding for photo shoots and the like. And I am an ambassador for a Canadian guitar company, Tana Custom Guitars, which is Jag Tana of a band called I Mother Earth, a Canadian band from the late 90s into the 2000s. And so I've got one of his custom guitars, and I told him I would sing its praises because it's amazing as well.
See, now that's another something is we help each other out. You find good products and you not only use them, but you also push them forward. This is how, you get a good guitar, you get a good clothing line. I know that you're influenced by, Led Zeppelin, the Cult. We talked about AC/DC. We talked about the Cult quite a bit in the last podcast. But I just saw this movie called Yesterday on Amazon. And it's about a guy who hits his head or gets in an accident and finds out that nobody in the world in this alternate dimension knows who the Beatles are. And he starts singing all of their songs. I
just watched that one too, Dan.
Oh, I saw it last night. It was just so beautiful.
It the other day myself.
Oh, I was almost bawling by the end of it. But this, the manager that I can't remember, one of the Saturday Night Live alumni was playing the manager. I can't remember her name, but she was talking about image, and you're talking about your clothing your clothing line, and she was really harping on this guy. Can you look any better? Can you dress any better? And image is so important.
Yeah.
People are going to be listening to the audio version of this, but I have the video version, and you're, a good looking dude, but when you're on stage, look, people on stage can wear a t-shirt and ripped up jeans, but as long as they're clean t-shirts and clean ripped up jeans, nobody wants to see anybody who's up there all dirty. But hey, look, there's people that can't afford to clean their clothes. I'm glad you have somebody backing you up in the clothing department. But tell me about image. What does image mean to you?
It's been something that has cost me or us, and in terms, you mentioned Obscene Silence before. I remember that we were climbing up in a Battle of the Bands competition for the local radio station, and we were booted out because we weren't dressed as styling as the other bands. Musically, we had way higher scores, but we didn't have the look. I think nowadays it's easy enough to have a look that suits you. I don't know. That's a good question, Dan. I don't get too caught up in it because to me the music is always first, but I know it's an important part of it.
Well, I'm thinking of my days in high school in Fort Lauderdale, in Davie, Florida, Western High School, class of '86 rules. Yeah. Okay. But I'm remembering those days when one day I would be in a Hawaiian shirt. The next day I'd be dressed like a prep in an Izod Lacoste shirt. The next day I would be dressed like a breakdancer in a parachute pants. Next day I'd be in some kind of a piped Western outfit because we were in Davie, Florida, home of the rodeo, the biggest rodeo in South Florida. And I was trying out different looks, trying to find out where my fit was. Oh, there's days I'm dressed in Ocean Pacific and Lightning Bolt, thinking I was some kind of a surfer. Never surfed in my life at that point. I have surfed since then, since high school, but close enough to the ocean. And finding your way, finding your brand, finding your look. And then I first start DJing, and I'm working a day job. Of course, I'm working at Swenson's ice cream parlor, trying to make my own money so I don't glom off my mom and dad. And I'm at the Broward Mall, and I buy myself a $50 t-shirt. $50 t-shirt in 1986. That's crazy. Ooh, that's like $7,000 right now.
That's big money. Yep.
It's huge because I wanted to look good for the show. I mean, do you find that since I've seen Obscene Silence, when you were kind of trotted off the stage for not looking right, do you pay attention to your clothing? Hey, look, make sure that my stuff matches, or I know the music is great, but the image, hey, that's important too. Since the MTV era.
Yeah, I definitely. I listen to what people say, like the casual comments, not anybody who's particularly influential, but people who I care about and people who care about me and what they say. I listen to that and I incorporate that. The one thing that is my definite go-to all the time, I'm always wearing a pair of Air Jordans, no matter what it is, AJ1s or AJ3s. That's a little weakness of mine. I'm a sneakerhead, and they've worked their way into the rock show. So, yeah.
See, I wouldn't know anything about that right now, but I remember I had the original Jordans. I had the ones that were, okay, my brother had the black ones with the red swoosh. I had two pair. I had the white ones with the red swoosh, and then I had the red ones with the black swoosh. So, yeah, I remember
Is that back in the day?
Oh,
Dan?
the originals, yeah.
Is that back in the day?
Yeah.
Like 86?
86.
Yeah. Do you know how much those are worth now?
Millions and millions. How?
Yeah, like $80,000 if you just left them in the box. Yeah, so.
I did not leave them in the box.
Yeah.
I
Who
wore
knew,
those
right?
suckers
Pair of
out.
shoes. Who knew?
Who knew? Yeah. I mean, I'm sure they knew. Jordan is still making more money on clothes than anybody. I guess King James is trying to catch up. But what was the latest thing that Jordan's making $1 billion and King James is making what, 600 million, which is no joke, but still.
Jordan makes $1 million every 6 minutes. Yeah,
money.
It's killer.
Money. Makes
I think we got on the wrong line.
Well, I mean, I just saw today on my.
Dan, I just wanted to forget. I forgot one person I wanted to throw out there too. A buddy of mine has a great new. He's one of my sponsors. It is Pedal Connection, and what they're doing, because I know you're down in the States, is they are mailing guitar pedals as rentals to people. So if people want to find and try out different guitar pedals, they have a huge collection of them. and they'll send them to you. You can try it, and if you like it, you can buy it. It's a great idea. Wanted to throw that out there.
Absolutely fantastic idea to rent, to try before you buy. I remember I worked at a rental company, and they rented TVs and computers. I'm not going to say the name because they haunt me in my dreams. But they rented computers and even couches and stuff like that. But it was nice. The bad part was that they overcharged too much. The good part was that people could try out a television, a computer, a game system, a piece of musical equipment before they actually bought it.
Yeah.
And that is so good because people, I mean, you can't go to your local music shop and try out every guitar, every amp, every piece of equipment, in 10 minutes and try to figure out whether it's like taking a test drive in a car and, ride it around the block or two and say, okay, I'm ready to buy this. Have you really checked out that car thoroughly? No, you haven't.
Well, most music stores won't let you turn anything up loud anyway, so you got to take it home and give it a good test drive.
Crank it up. Wake your mom and dad and the neighbors up. Oh yeah, we're going back to that space. Exactly. Hopefully they have a band room at school that lets them use it after hours. Hey, is that one thing? Is there an extracurricular part of your band at your school? Do you let the kids come in after school and rock it out or jazz it up or blues it up or whatever they want to do?
And that's all Russ's department. He's got the keys to that kingdom, but I know that there's music coming out of there quite often. So.
Okay. Well, I mean, just how much does school, the teachers, I worry about teachers, man. Teachers, you need to be paid a whole lot more for what you do. You have to buy your own supplies with the meager money that they give you. Okay, people go, oh yeah, they make for $40,000, $50,000 a year. Anybody can live on that, living simply $60,000, $70,000, $100,000 a year. But you got to buy your own equipment. You got to buy your own stuff. Are they treating you right up in Vancouver? Because I don't think they treat them right down here in the States.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to get too political, Dan, but we are fortunate to be unionized up here. So we're doing a lot better than our colleagues in the United States. And from what I understand, the further south you go, the worse it gets to be a teacher in the States. So hats off to the teachers who make stands down there because they're doing it without a union to protect them, and it's pretty scary at times. So,
well, I think you're right. I think traditionally the Deep South is the ones who gets the least funded educationally. I know I'm from Florida, which is, the furthest south, but from what people say, when I was in South Florida, really Miami is like the biggest suburb of New York. So we have an influx of money. Some of it might have been legal or illegal from back in the 80s, Tony Montana time. That's where a lot of money came in. And thankfully we have some of that money that's been used for infrastructure. I know in the Deep South, the education is lacking, and that's got to be something that's near and dear to your heart. Yes, the music it keeps flowing through you, but you're also a school teacher, and that's got to be that's an important job. What grades are you teaching again?
I teach high school, so grade 8 to 12.
8 to 12,
and it is important because, again, I won't get too deep. Coming out. Moving ahead for messages from my songs are it's really connecting the dots between freedom, ultimately freedom of expression, and making sure we don't make mistakes that we've made in the past, which it seems like we're stumbling blind into right now. So.
Well, history never changes. What is it that it's got the same tune, or it rhymes? History rhymes. History doesn't necessarily repeat, but it rhymes. I like that one. I've used that one, and I've heard that one so many times. And you, as a history teacher, you're shaping young minds. You're getting people ready for the world. And please, we all have to love each other and help each other out. Quit fighting. just because you live on this piece of dirt and it's got that kind of resource on there, and you want those resources, so you keep, you fight for them. We're going to run out of resources anyway, so we all got to get together and figure this thing out. But oh my goodness, it is a very responsible thing that you have, is shaping young minds, getting them ready for the future. Teaching the history is important. Our kids even, is history being whitewashed or changed or glossed over? I guess that's been going on since history's been written. It's written by the victors and the people that.
Well, there's just so many. There's so many aspects of it that are, for whatever reason, people are trying to. For valid reasons, there are people who are trying to bring aspects of it forward in relevance and important, which are absolutely hugely important. We have a movement in Canada right now called Truth and Reconciliation, and that's bringing the struggle of our Indigenous population and the horrors of the residential school system forward. But the one thing that I struggle with is, if you're going to take history out to voice relevant parts of history, in my opinion, it's all relevant. Even if it's wrong, you have to teach it. Mm-hmm. And so that's where we're having, ideological issues all around,
Well, it's the compensation to help those that the trigger, quote unquote, trigger warnings, trigger people. Oh, I can't talk about that because it's very triggering to me. But you have to talk about it. You have to. You can't be so eggshelled and be so. Oh my goodness! If my grandfather and father were alive, my grandfather especially, if he were alive today, to see all these candy people that are getting offended by so much, just even the comedy and the musicianship. I mean, even through your songs, you can teach people through your songs. You can write songs that have meaning and that have depth, and that if people actually listen to the lyrics, they can go, huh, you can change thoughts. You can, make them think differently. Maybe they thought this way. We're not so different. All the people in the world, my goodness, we all love music, and for the most part, I guess there's those few. Oh, I don't like music. Who doesn't like music?
I think the Beatles, going back to the Beatles, we got to come together. We got to work together, because if we spend so much time divided, we're just going to tear ourselves apart. So,
hey, that's one song that I didn't hear in that yesterday thing. He didn't do "Come Together." That's
true.
Oh, did he?
I didn't put it up on his sticky notes.
Yeah.
No, I don't think he did.
I think that somebody owns half of the catalog. Michael Jackson, reportedly back in the 80s, I thought he bought half of the Beatles catalog, and that's why we had Come Together was a sneaker advertisement. So I think somebody else owns half of that catalog. And Paul McCartney owns the rest.
I thought that McCartney got it back. Okay. No, I think he got it back. I can't remember. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't want to spoil the rest of that film, because it was powerful. It was powerful. And that's another thing.
It's a good one.
You could take your music video and it becomes a mini movie, and it can talk about the song Dream'n. So tell me about why and is it politics or what? You've had this song written, produced, and made for months now. And why do you wait till Friday to release it?
I did not, like I said, what the song means to me now is a thank you. Thank you for love and for showing me what true love can be. Thank you for being my wife. I've grieved as best I can, and I wrote that song for Shannon when she was still in a hospital bed. To put it out as my first track I wasn't ready for it, it just didn't seem right. So we did Too Little Too Late. Just wanted to introduce myself to the world with a rock track. And then it gave me time also to shape the video. And the video is kind of form and content. There's two different churches. One is an old ruined church, which is the present, and the church that's functional, that kind of zips back and forth between time, is the past. And so it gave me time to think about that, and it gave me time to where the song didn't pull on my grief, if you will. It just makes me look back and smile and be grateful. So, well,
you say Too Little Too Late is your a rock song. This is very guitar driven, simply because of who you are. It's just, it's got power in the way that you present the notes and the way you acted in it. My goodness, that reach up, I know I'm going to give away the ending, that reach up at the end. Oh, I could feel it. Oh, that you were like, oh, just feeling and just reaching out for Shannon Jean. Just so beautiful, man. So beautiful. So powerful.
That idea came from some pretty powerful visits or dreams, if you will, whatever you want to call them, and that was really the most healing part of my grief, was that where she is now is a good place, and that she's doing amazing now and not in pain. So I around just before the time I filmed the video, I had a couple of those moments, and so I wanted to try to capture that in the video.
Well, I'm a fan of ghosts and haunted places, but has that always been a part of your belief system, that we go to a better place? We don't just die and become dust and dirt, or have you always felt that we go to I definitely did not know where we went, but I do know now. And there's some very intensely personal stories that I can share with you sometime, but I have been well shown by someone who is, she was my wife, and she's shown me that there is a place where you go now. I feel a lot better about knowing that now. Well, testify, man. I love the movies where they go over to the other side and find out, what dreams may come and things of the like, where you actually see. I feel it. The one closest to me, maybe my grandfather, that when the moment he died, I feel like he came and visited with me. Was it just the visions of a young man, just kind of hoping and wishing and praying, or was it real? Was there someone actually there, man? Give me the broad strokes. What are the feelings? Testify.
Well,
hello, Vince Warry.
Hey, man, I'm fighting the battle here.
No, I know what happened. We started talking about the afterlife and the world beyond. And divine intervention came in and shut us down. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it right there. You keep your personal story to yourself. I'll keep my personal stories to myself. And ever the twain shall meet. I think we'll finish this thing off right now. And hey, look,
thanks, brother.
You can give shout outs. I know you've been giving shout outs to people that have been helping you out along the way. Give shout outs to the people that maybe you missed. Or I know that's always a hard thing to do, to put somebody on the spot like that, because you're always going to forget somebody, and hopefully the people are forgiving if you forget a name or two. But give shout outs.
I got them all on there. I got them all on there, so all good. Thanks for everything, dude.
Fantastic. All right, Vince Warry. I look forward to seeing you on the weekly calls at Big Records. I'm so excited to be part of that, and hopefully, what I'm doing and what you're doing are we help each other. We're kind of like musketeers. We not only help ourselves and protect the king. I guess that would be the music. protect the music, but also help each other and lift each other up. And give a share on your social media from time to time. If you see one of your fellow musicians out there, give them a Facebook like.
Absolutely.
Give them a tweet. Can I call it tweet anymore? Is it X now?
I don't even know.
I know.
I will.
Go ahead.
Later tonight, I'll fire up that video for access, and I'll send you the proper link. Okay, my man.
Fantastic, no problem. We're still on the podcast, and we're still doing that thing. I'm going to release all of this, even cool. as is, because I want people to know maybe there was something out there that told us that blew up the Skype. Or is that all just hoodly nonsense? All right, let's finish this thing off with last words for the people. This could be words to live by, something you heard a long time ago, a mantra you wake up with every morning, or just whatever pops into your head at this moment in time. Vince Warry, give the last words for the people.
Let's make this world a better place and be happy and work together, even if it doesn't always necessarily mean it's going in your direction. Do your best to support. So that we have some good things coming down the line, things to look forward to. And I've never done this before, so this is the first on your show, Dan, but I'm going to ask that you could maybe make your way over to Vince Warry Official on the YouTube and hit that like and subscribe on these videos and help me out there. I would be appreciated.
Well, there you have it, party people. Vince Warry. What a cool dude. Very insightful, very likable, very lovable man. And he's very caring about what's going on in the world today and what's going on in what happened in the world before can teach us how to not make those mistakes in the future. He's a history teacher, amongst other things. I know we didn't even talk about diving too much. I don't even know if he's still diving, but talking about history makes you remember it. And washing over history, we talked about that a little bit. I worry about that. I know they're knocking down a bunch of statues, and yes, those statues might not have been the coolest people, or maybe they're not the winners. To the victory go the spoils. Yes, the North did win over the South, and the South maybe had some ideas. Some people had some ideas that maybe aren't very sportsmanlike, but knocking down a statue and forgetting all about them is going to make you do that stuff again. I mean, we've been hurting each other for the longest time. Ever since people have become sentient, we've been hurting each other. So let's stop hurting each other. I know. Yeah. What a great concept. Just love one another. I mean, I know that was Vince's final thought, was love one another. Take care of each other. That's I think that was Jerry Springer's final thought on his show about people that were crashing into each other, throwing chairs at each other. And at the end, he would say, just love each other. Is it loving after doing all that crazy stuff? I don't know. How did Jerry Springer get into this podcast? I don't know. It's the thoughts that run through my head. Vince Warry, I wish you all the best, man. You're a great songwriter and a song performer for that matter. Dream'n, I know I got the advanced copy of Dream'n, Dreamn. I know the advanced copy has the I in there. So my loyal listener, look for Dream'n. And of course, he mentioned the YouTube page. It's Vince Warry Music. That's it. The YouTube is Vince Warry Music. VinceWarry Music. You know how to spell music. And if you do know how to spell music, thank a teacher. Hey, see how I connected that all together? Always a good time. Thank you so much, Vince Warry, for being on the What Makes You Famous podcast. Now, if you, my loyal listener, if you'd like to tell your story, I encourage you to give me a call, 501-470-6386, or email keysdan@aol.com. That's it for me. It's keysdan, radiowhat.com, djlittlerock.com. Peace. I'm out of here.